All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here, talking about real music and real issues and just real crazy lunatic stuff. And doing it in real time for a few real people who remain just like you and just like me. All right, so the gift that keeps on giving, ladies and gentlemen. His name is Paul Stanley from the band Kiss. Kiss is currently on their end of the road tour, or did they conclude? I don't know. I know they postponed some dates. Don't really care. Not a fan. Was a fan a long time ago. No longer a fan because, number one, let's just be straight, all right? Let's cut to the chase. If you want to go see a good lip sync, go see Kiss. If you want to see a lot of vocal tracks being used and probably some instrumental tracks being thrown out there, go see Kiss, right? There you go. And then pay a fortune and park and walk and grab your $14 beer. Oh, and don't forget to buy all your Kiss stuff, right? All your paraphernalia, right? You got to have the 45th anniversary of Destroyer is out there. It'll probably run you like $200 or something. And Gene will be selling it at his little booth, and he'll charge you to stand next to him and have a picture with you in the box set. It's just glorious. Yes, it's capitalism at its finest. It's state-run capitalism, by the way, and hence you have to obey the state when you're a guy like Paul Stanley, believe it or not, because the state is really your God. And I'm learning that these people really put their trust in government agencies and government officials above like their actual God. I think Paul Stanley is Jewish, and he's upset because people in the state of Kansas are using terminology to make comparisons between what happened in Germany and what is currently happening here in the United States and, quite frankly, around the world in many locations. Paul Stanley just doesn't want that comparison out there. In fact, he's into Kansas state politics. He blasted people in Kansas. And of course, it's anti-thingers, as I like to call them. You're either for the thing, and that makes you normal in their eyes. Hey, are you willing to do the thing? Sure, then you're a great person. You're here, have a live a snap here. You're a great person. I'm going back a ways with that reference. Pat you on the head. You're doing a great job. You are part of the Borg. Welcome. You're going to be loved and respected. Oh, by the way, are you updated? Because there's another thing coming soon, and there's a thing after that, and a booster thing, and you're just going to be a pincushion. It's going to be awesome. So anyway, he blasted the people who are against the thing in Kansas for comparing those mandates. At least it doesn't say measures. The measures, it's just a little measure. Just this is all you got to do is just a little tiny measure. No, these are mandates, and at least they're being honest here. And they're comparing those mandates because, you know what? State writers, the people that love the state, they write in those terms, and they do it with a sense of love for a good mandate, right? Because it's boiling down to this. The people who are watching this, like yours truly, we're starting to go a little cuckoo watching this. We're going a little insane because we can't believe that people would be this eager to line up for something, right, that has a few problems, right? And, you know, you make the comparison that this particular measure or mandate is like something that happened in Germany in the 1930s and 40s, and you really get to Paul Stanley. Paul Stanley, he doesn't accept that. Now, here's the story. According to the Kansas City Star, a former mayoral candidate who they mention here finished last in a five-way race, right? They want to completely just stomp on this guy, Darren Duffy. Again, we're talking about Kansas state politics here. Paul Stanley has put his nose into Kansas state politics. Hey, Paul, are you going to do all 50 states or just Kansas, right? Well, because this is what happened in Kansas. Kansas tends to be a little anti-authoritarianism, and good for them. So this guy told lawmakers he'd worn a yellow star as a reminder that every single thing that Hitler did he did in accordance with the laws of his country, which is 100% correct. Now, Darren Duffy did make a mistake. Rather than wearing the yellow star, he should have put on a QR code somewhere. Should have had a t-shirt, maybe a black shirt because it's kind of somber, and then have the big QR code maybe right on his chest. So then you can be scanned. See, the yellow star, we didn't have that whole scanning thing where we could collect all of your information. Certainly a big violation of the Fourth Amendment of the Constitution. But these guys, they don't, who cares about the Constitution, right? And because this is Kansas state politics, Paul, there is something called the 10th Amendment. I know you're probably not familiar with it, but the federal government has no business, no right, because again, the power goes back to the state and back to the actual people. It doesn't go to federal mandates. Federal mandates, unless it's a law that's passed, cannot be implemented. All right. It can't be done by decree or by wish. None of this is constitutional. And by the way, the Fifth Circuit Court not only put a temporary stay on the mandates, Paul Stanley, but they put a permanent hold on the mandates. Team Brandon is stuck right now. I don't know what they're going to do. Actually, I do. I'm sure they're going to appeal to the Supreme Court. They got to keep going so they can control everybody, right? So they can tell everybody what they should do with their own body. That's at least in the sense that, you know, if you have, 100 workers or more, and by the way, that's not just federal, that's also private businesses. So this is pretty crazy. So Duffy, even though maybe probably should have used different imagery, not to placate Paul Stanley, but just to kind of prove a point that, hey, this barcoding thing, this is a little crazy, isn't it? You know, Bible believers are thinking, hey, this might be Revelation chapter 13 at this point. Holy crap, Batman. I'm getting the heck out of Dodge here. Get it? Dodge. You know, I did that. That was pretty good. Is it Dodge City? Duffy later defended his stance, stating that the U.S. was headed toward a catastrophe like the Holocaust. And I don't really disagree with Duffy all that much. Again, some of this seems like crazy, wild hyperbole. This guy is a nut. He's ignorant. Paul Stanley called him ignorant and stupid. And he said, stupidity is no excuse for ignorance. No, Paul, actually, if you're not a student of history, you're the one who's ignorant. Everything these guys do is opposite day. I wake up, I read the story, and I go, this is exactly the opposite here. This guy is actually making a valid comparison, the yellow star thing, and I know 6 million Jews. Paul Stanley then, puffing out his chest saying, I mourn the 6 million Jews. Do you mourn the people who are losing their lives to suicide right now because of this stuff? Are you mourning the lives that are being changed? Are you mourning the people who lost their livelihoods? Are you mourning the kids in first and second grade who are forced to wear a medical device on their face for 8 hours a day, which I think is child abuse, by the way? Most people would see it as child abuse. Stop it. But you got these mothers who are like lining their kids up at Walgreens. Oh, 5-year-olds. Yay. Woohoo. And I'm like, who are they? Do I belong to the same group? My friend Paul in Toronto, he sent me this message one day. He said, I'm just ashamed of these people. My species, I'm ashamed of them. And I get that, I was the original social distancer. I'm like Eric Clapton. I'm just going to keep Eric Clapton. Well, Eric Clapton, according to Jim Kelter, he's always been kind of quiet. And that's suspicious. The quiet ones are the ones to worry about, right? Eric Clapton's always kind of kept a low profile. He doesn't hang out with us and party as much. Well, he is 76 years old now, but, maybe even 10, 20 years ago. Where's Eric? We're worried about Eric. Eric has decided that he wants to socially distance from you, Jim Keltner, you psychologist. You are a piece of work. But I digress. It is interesting, though, to watch these people kind of imploding a little bit. Let's recap again. Paul Stanley got the thing and said in the media that it kicked his ass. He got the thing after doing the thing, and he said it kicked his ass. All right. And his guitar tech. Should we talk about it? I don't want to talk about his guitar tech anymore. It's super sad, super tragic. And even though these guys mourned and they did articles and he was a family man and married and had children, I'm thinking, did someone give someone the thing who supposedly, again, they've moved the goalposts so many times that they told you, just do this and you'll get your life back. Well, if that was true, right, why are these guys canceling gigs? Because that's not getting your life back if you're canceling gigs. So a kid would probably make this little observation. They would say, maybe this isn't working. Maybe what they said it would do isn't actually happening. And then Gene Simmons got it, but his was mild, and he's going to tell everybody, hey, it's because I did the thing. Really, Gene? So you don't know about things that you can do? Now, I get it. Saturday Night Live, I guess last night, again, torching people like Joe Rogan and Aaron Rodgers. And the horse pace thing comes out, Terry Bradshaw, all of these people speaking on behalf of the state. And then they'll cut to a commercial, right? And they'll go, this edition of NFL Sunday is being brought to you by Pfizer. And I'll sit there going, isn't that interesting? Pfizer, don't they have one of those things? Pfizer, they have one, right? I mean, this is all people. This is all connected. And it's so easy to connect. And if you make a simple connection like that, this isn't like just, Paul Stanley's upset. He's going to shoot down some, local yokel in Kansas who finished 5th in the race, right? And we can't have this guy talking like this because he's cheapening the lives of people who died in the Holocaust. And it's exactly the opposite. You don't want to repeat that. You don't want to go down that road. And even if that road isn't exactly the same path, but you think you're going down that road, it should be full stop, America, Europe, whoever. It should be full stop. Don't keep going down that road. I mean, even if the road doesn't lead you there, you do a U-turn. You go back to freedom. You go back to the way things used to be. But it's been so long since we've been there. You would think, well, Dave, it's only been a couple of years. Yeah, but this has been in the works for a very long time. I've been reading some stuff since the late 90s. They wanted to take this over. And this whole medical tyranny thing is a perfect way. Because now you've got people who will never feel comfortable going out and breathing fresh air. Seriously. Because I see them all the time. And, you're alone. What are you doing? Take that dang thing off your face. Nope. Going to walk down the street. I'm going to look really zombie-like, and this is what I'm going to do. And you can't see anyone's facial expression. Child abuse. 5-year-olds, it's child abuse. Whether it's the medical device, whether it's CVS, waiting in line at CVS for hours and hours, you'd keep your kid in a line. Do you know the stats on kids? Anybody out there know the stats? The fact that Paul Stanley, sure, it's a great idea. Let's do it. Gene Simmons, we did it. It's great. We've got to protect everybody. That's why we're doing it. No, the only people you're protecting, really, are the people who are above you, all of the elites, all of the oligarchs, all the people who run these drug companies and aren't making enough money or weren't. They're doing better now. I wonder why, but they weren't doing all that well because people were starting to reject what they were selling. People are looking back to Mother Earth, right? They're looking back to God's creation for answers, not the petroleum-based industry that began 100 years ago under the names of people like Carnegie and Rockefeller and a number of other oil tycoons who couldn't wait to just hijack medicine and make it into something that's Frankenstein right now. It's completely Frankenstein, but we're just gonna full speed ahead. Nothing to see here. That 18,000 number? No. What did he say? 18,000 what? What's he talking about? I'm talking about 18,000, folks. And according to the CDC themselves, it's a website, and it's underreported website. It was 26 in 1976 when we rolled out a thing then. And Mike Wallace, who did some real journalism back then, Mike Wallace, can you believe it? Was it Mike Wallace? I don't know. It's one of the Wallace guys. I know it's a father son. I don't know if it's Mike Wallace and the other one works at Fox or whatever. The son is not good. The father was kind of to that side, but he did real journalism, and he put everybody on the spot and said, why are we doing this? This is bad. We shouldn't be doing this. And they stopped because the media said stop. And they listened because people were watching. They only had 3 networks to choose from. And one of them was saying, don't do this. Now you've got 6 million choices, but most of the ones that most people have access to, they're saying full steam ahead, Walgreens for 5-year-olds. Let's go. So anyway, the comparison that this guy makes is not that crazy. In fact, he's not the only one doing it. The yellow star thing should be a QR code, though. Get the QR code and go. The problem is someone will scan you, and then they'll have all your data, and then that's the end of that. But just get a fake code that it's not related to you, right? It's just a QR code. You see them all the time walking around. Maybe if you scan this, you get a free, bag of onions or something at the supermarket. I don't know. I have no idea. The QR code, by the way, I think is a bridge too far for a lot of people who understand technology. They understand how to, run a debit card and do some basic things and use their cell phone. But then now you're taking a picture of a box that's got all this stuff in it. And I think people are like, come on, I just want to get into the concert. Can I just go? No. What's your thing status? Well, I got a thing. It's not that thing, but I got a different thing. And then you're going to have a black market where people are, sending out QR code passes or something. You'll pay big bucks, and you always, by the way, stupid laws always create an underground economy, right? Drugs, perfect example. And I'm not advocating for drugs, but I'm saying it created an underground market. And so if you can't get them one way, the horse paste, right? Created an underground market. Well, the pharmacy won't give it to me. Well, I'm going to get it. I'm going to find a way to get it. Because guess what? People who are told no oftentimes go, oh, really? Oh, really? Huh? Well, I'm going to find it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to show you. And people do that. It's called the rebellious spirit. And none of these rock stars have the rebellious spirit. They're just plugged right into the Borg. And those are the people, by the way, that are going over the cliff. And it's up to us to not join them. That's the very least we can do. Even better than that is to protest it, rebel against it, elect new people that believe in freedom, bodily autonomy, freedom of movement, freedom of breathing for breathing air. It's pretty simple, people. It's not that hard. It's weird how in just a couple of years, we went from understanding what freedom was, or at least most of us, to now looking at just very basic things like the freedom of movement, bodily autonomy, and all those things. And now everybody's like, well, I don't know. We can't do this stuff anymore. As Arnold Schwarzenegger said, screw your freedom.